Hey everybody, it's Kristin Smedley with a special guest here talking about the children's book. What I Can Be is Up to Me. We are going to be talking with one of our characters, air quotes, in the book. Alex, it's actually LA. Alex Williams is in the house. Well, he looks like he's got a cool studio going on in his visual there. He is in the house today to talk about this book, why it's important, some really cool stuff happening with it. So let's jump in. Here's Alex's page in What I Can Be is Up to Me. What I can be is up to me because you see, I believe in me. I can be like Alex. I can be a leader too, dreaming big, listening and teaching, helping others achieve. Lead, lead, lead. I'm showing the book. LA, what's up, buddy? We're gonna have a good time
Oh
today.
man, absolutely! I am so pumped up, fired up, super excited about this book. It don't make no sense. It's so crazy because a CEO reached out to me and she let me know that her book came in the mail. She was like, "What is this? It got like the dots, like it's Braille." And so she was shocked that it had Braille and print together. She was like, "I didn't really understand exactly like the value." She was like, "Oh wait, I'm gonna have to get some more of these for." Just schools and things like that in her area. So I was like, hey, 100%, let's make it happen, right? Because it's not for. See, I think people think that it's for blind people, and while us as the blind community, we can benefit from it. I think it's more so for just the average and ordinary first, second, maybe even third grader. And so, hey, Kristen made me think about it. Maybe we should have some versions without Braille, like that way. That way they can just kind of learn. We can put the Braille in the back. I don't even care, right? But I'm just saying, like, because I think it is super cool that they get the chance to experience Braille. Because, most times kids, they might hear about Braille, they might see it on TV or something like that, but they never get a chance to feel it, touch it with their own skin. Right, and I think that that's the thing that this book does differently. It gives folks an experience that otherwise they would not have. So, yeah.
I love it. I love that you just use the word experience. I got to tell you, man, I've been out in the schools with
Hmm.
this book, and we are having like I know that, and I should come with a warning label, because you know how fun this story is. We get everybody cheering and
Right.
everything, and every time we were in Tampa, and we had those kids going
Yes.
wild with like the hundreds of kids in there, and I'm like, this is not. I reach out and I'm like, now I actually changed on my outreach for this because I'm like, oh, I'll come and do a presentation about blindness and
Hmm.
ability, not disability. But I'm like, you want to change how everybody sees this all at
Yes.
once? Want some high energy and enthusiasm? This is the way to go. There was a little guy in Seattle. I was just out there, and I had like all the first, second, and third grade. And I said, I hear that there's a celebrity in the house. There was a little boy that's blind, and he was
Hmm.
like, are you talking about me? And the kids now continue to call him a celebrity. Pretty cool.
That is super cool, man. And I just can imagine, something like that happening at my school just coming up, right? Now, I did go for a little while. I went to Overbrook School for the Blind, and then I went to OEC, Overbrook Educational Center, and so they were obviously a little bit more exposed to just the blind community, right? It was just a bunch of us. We was rolling deep up in there, right? So, but I still think it'd be really cool to have a presentation like that for the regular sighted kids, right? Because they still would ask questions. Like, my classmates would still ask a lot of questions, and I taught a lot of people Braille and all that different kind of stuff. But to have someone like you come in with a book like this, I think would have really explained a lot. And even though I've always been an explainer, even when I was, in sixth grade, right, I still think it would have been beneficial to have an adult that truly understood. Because so many adults, I think the teachers probably got it. I think the itinerants probably got it. But outside of that, yeah, we was on our own, So,
Listen, I think that you will be thrilled to know I go, we do the book, we do the story, we do all the actions. And then I
mhm.
start chatting with them and I'm like, okay, who wants to be like Clark and Peyton? Who wants it? And
Woo!
all these hands go, and I'm like, who wants to be like LA? They go wild. They all want to be the leader.
Aw. Let's go, right? Let's go. I mean, and that's what the world needs, right? The world needs more leadership. I totally believe that. And listen, you don't have to run the company to be the leader. You don't even really have to be a manager to be a leader. You can lead yourself. And see, that is what I think, again, this entire country, when you talk about, we ain't got to get into politics and all that good stuff, but as human beings, right, if we lead ourselves instead of being followers of just following other people and what they say and all that, no, man, we know right from wrong. And so there has to be some principles that we stand on, right? The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, another book by Dr. Stephen Covey. I mean, we got some principles that we can stand on. We need to learn to lead ourselves. One of the foremost experts on leadership, John Maxwell, he talks about that a lot, right? Leadership is everything, man. Everything is leadership. And that's really what influence is all about. So if you want to have influence, we don't got a bunch of people out there who want to be influencers. How about being a leader, right? That's what it really is. So I love that.
See, now people probably saw this and thought, oh, they're going to talk about this cute little children's book. There's so much more to this than just, okay, yes, I started this because I was getting frustrated that adults just don't see ability. They see the
Mm,
disability. They don't see the word ability. So I was like,
don't be dissing
forget the
me.
adults. Let's just start with the kids and have them see it, because kids are so open and
Mm-hmm.
cool, and they're into new ideas and exploring. So I did start it as see ability, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, but every single one of you, all six characters, you guys actually are all quite the character to hang out with in this book. But everybody has such cool stuff going on. So for the folks that aren't aware, let them all know what you're up to in the world now, or a little bit of how you got here.
Wow. Okay. So I want to kind of talk about when you called me, right, and told me about the idea. I was at a dealership because I'm the vice president of a company called Dealer Synergy, where we train car dealers on how to properly sell cars over the internet, make a lot of money, help a lot of customers, all of that good stuff, right? And so I was at a dealership and I get this phone call from Kristin, and she's like, oh, where were you? Were you like on a beach or somewhere? I know you were like, LA, I'm coming up with this idea. I want to do this and this and this and this. And I'm like, yo, it's gonna be fire. Oh, we could do this, we could do that. My mind starts racing, right? But yeah, and so that's the kind of stuff that I do on a daily basis. Outside of that, I run a financial brokerage where, you talk about setting appointments. I think I'm a bad financial broker though, because I don't have toleration for people when they just are okay with being broke. I did, so like, so actually, I'm about to put a reel together on it. If this pops up on my reels, no, I want you to kind of have a sneak preview of what's coming. I'm getting ready to let you all know why I'm a bad financial rep, life insurance rep, whatever you want to call it, because I ain't got time. If you don't want to win for you and your family, I don't know what to tell you, right? But outside of that, of course, I do production engineering. We're doing a lot of voiceover work. I'm working on a bunch of different projects for some artists out there, right? So I stay busy, right? I stay putting myself in position to help some other people, and on top of it, I'm developing a outside sales training class, because I'm finding that people are, when it comes to sales, right? People got this mindset. I ain't acting like I'm gonna change the whole mindset of sales, but people think that you got to be like pushy in sales and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, those are the people who are not good at sales, right? The pushy people. I told you I ain't got time for that, right? I'm just going to present it to you. I'm looking for people who already want the things that I offer, and I think that's what most of us as salespeople got to do. You got to just talk to people who already want what you got, and you just show them the benefit, the features, advantages, and benefits of what you do, and life becomes so much easier. So when you want to talk about what I got going on, I got all that. Plus, I got my son. You know what I'm saying? He's playing basketball, right? He's with me pretty much every other week right now during the summertime. So that's a whole lot of stuff going on. He'll be 15 on the 16th of July.
Wow.
So yeah, right. So that's a lot of
15.
crazy stuff. Yeah, we all over the place with it. So
You know what cracks me up here, LA? Now I know you. Well, you'll just be honest about this. What do you is your message? What would you say to folks that are blind? Because you just rattled off a gajillion jobs and things, and all the stuff you got going on in the world, and all different kinds of things.
mhm.
What would you say to the folks that are that? are kind of sitting home saying, well, I'm going to collect my disability check because I can't really get out there and find anything. And the world isn't really open. I mean, we're trying to open people, not trying, we are opening people's minds with this book
Mm-hmm.
and realizing ability. But what about all those folks that are sitting around saying, the world isn't ready to see ability, so I really don't stand a chance?
Mm. I don't think you're gonna like my answer on this one, right? Because here's the real deal.
Tough love
If
with
listen,
tough love with
here's the
LA.
deal. Here's the deal. All right. If you continue to feel that way, right, it's because of that type of thinking why folks like Kristen and I and Michael and Mitch, why we got to do such hard work. We need more soldiers. We need more people to help us kick down these doors, right? And so if you're sitting at home on the couch and we trying to kick down the door, we just need one more person to help kick down the daggum door. If we could get you up off the couch, if we can get you up, you know what I'm saying, out the house and start pushing on some of these doors, we could add a little bit extra weight. If we could just add your two hands, something in this world could absolutely change. But again, if you're just going to be the kind of person that's going to put your hands in your pockets and let other people do the work, is that the definition of leadership? The answer is absolutely not. So I said that if you got a desire in your heart, if you want things to change, if it's going to be, who is it up to? Wait, I didn't think it said somebody else. I don't even rhyme, right? If it's going to be, right, it's up to me, right? And so you got to be the me in the story, right? You got to be the me in your own story. So listen, that's why I said sometimes people don't really like the messaging, because I'm going to challenge you to actually do something, to put some work in, right? You got to be proactive, right? Not reactive, where you just kind of wait for, you know what I'm saying, mommy or daddy or celebrity, you know, because I promise you that celebrity, he gonna do something, right? But waiting for somebody else to do something, if you assist us in making things happen, things will happen for you.
Oh, look at that. Wait, I love the expression. Don't just stand there with your hands in your pockets. Come on.
Right?
You know,
Let's go.
listen, and you, it's not even a tough love message. It is an encouraging message, motivating message, right? The world has told the wrong story about not even just blindness and disability, just challenges in general. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually sick of hearing the world talk about the kids that, were in high school trying to have a graduation or college graduation during COVID, and they're all these years later, the world keeps saying, well, those poor kids, they had COVID. I'm like, I don't see a lot of them still sitting there saying, "Oh, poor me, COVID ruined
Right?
my graduation." They're trying to get
Mm-hmm.
out there and do stuff. Like, stop the negative stories and let's, like you said, challenge folks. Come on, keep
Yeah.
pushing on that door.
There's an opportunity for those folks to do something amazing that has never been done before, right? And listen, there is no blueprint, right? Because as far as I know, there ain't never been no pandemic kind of like that one. And this not in this day and age where you were still able to learn through Zoom and Restream like this and all different types of social media. Like the opportunity was never there before. So it's not like there's been a path laid out for them. So what does that mean? They're going to need a leader, right? One of the things I will say, I've been, because my wife is a fan of The Walking Dead, right? And so for me, I always thought the character, what's his name now? Ezekiel was like super cool. King Ezekiel. I don't know if none of y'all know him, but my man he, from his theater degree, right, changed his language, and he just was like, I'm gonna be the king, right? And he just he held it down. I thought that was so boss, right? And so we all look at that as if you're familiar with it, right? It's not just some zombie apocalypse story, right? There's actually a lot of really in-depth, cool stories inside of it. And so you got the story of Negan, who was the fun character and all that good stuff. But the story of Rick, who everybody kind of followed if you knew. But man, Ezekiel's story was the bomb. You know what I'm saying? He was the man because he just decided that he was going to be a king. And what did he do? He became a king. And so I think all of the rest of us are literally one decision away from doing whatever it is that we want to do in life. We just have to truly decide, right? Not make a choice, because the choice means you pick one day, you can pick the other one tomorrow. But the word decision, when you decide, it means that you know what the word genocide is. It's like you cut off, like you kill an entire country, right? Homicide, you killing oneself, suicide, like killing your own self, right? But decide, meaning to put to death every other option. So when you do that, then that's when your path just becomes a lot clearer, right? You just, because everything else is dead. Look, that's not even an option. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to go out and live my life.
Okay, I know that you have a bazillion other things going on, and we're going to wrap this up soon.
Okay.
One quick thing on let's put this all in perspective.
Hmm.
When you were growing up, did you take classes and have all of the plans to be doing the things that you're doing now? Did you just have you been working on this for a super long time and didn't course correct at all?
No, not at all. Right. I took regular old English, math, social studies, and everything like everybody else kind of growing up. Um, I will say that I had extracurricular stuff going on. Right. So I was, musically inclined. So I was always in the band and stuff. And then I had my little group, like my group of guys, right? And I always felt like I was a leader in that regard, right? But I always paid attention to what's going on inside me, right? I've always been that guy. I mean, I remember to the point where I was in first grade and we had a new guy. This new guy, this little kid Russell, gonna come and sit in my seat. I was like, boy, I wanted to be like, you don't get up on my seat. But he was the new guy, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna let you sit there today. It's all good, right? But I just felt like that was the leadership move to make. Why? Because I wanted to embrace the new guy, right? Same situation. It's actually a little bit of a unique situation. But in fourth grade, right, we had Terry. He came in. He was a brand new kid, right? But he was one of them new kids. He wasn't humble like Russ was. He was coming to run amok, right? And so for the first 3 days on the playground, I had to beat him down. You know what I'm saying? But then by the fourth day, we was friends, you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying all that to say that, for me, I always looked at what was going on deep inside me, but nobody outside like gave me anything. I always kind of had the thought process. Of course, I gotta, follow the rules and live life and everything like that. But I just wanted to do more. And I think that if you have a desire to do that, you just gotta pay that some attention, right? Don't starve the leader inside you. Don't starve the desires, whatever desires you have inside you. Don't starve them because then they'll die. Right? You got to make sure you feed those desires with encouragement, right? You got to say, hey, listen, if you really want to do it, you can do it. But like I said, like Kristin said, don't expect that the path is going to be laid out for you because I promise you it's not. If you want to talk about how I got to where I am, I went to regular old high school, right? Graduated, was sitting in 13th grade. I was like at my mom's house in September, like, oh, shoot, I really don't have nothing else to do. But like I said, I was talented with music production. And so I, kind of played around with that for a little bit. And, and when I say play around, I did some pretty professional stuff. People be like, LA, what you mean play around, right? So then a couple came to the studio and it was Karina Bradley. Other folks know her as Karen Bradley. Her husband, Sean Bradley, was there. And he's like, man, LA, if you could get pop artists to get songs to sound good, I know you can get car salespeople to get phone calls to sound good. So I was like, maybe not, right? But he and I developed a friendship, not like now at this point in time, we're business partners. But again, that opportunity. See, so this was something else that I thought about, and I know I got to go, right? But here's the deal. Listen, no, this is a big deal, right? It's huge. I talk about this, right? So listen, opportunities don't just like show up as you think they're supposed to show up, right? Let me tell you what you got to do. So I was breaking down because somebody told me that they wanted to I don't know, build like a homeless shelter or something like that. All that stuff is cool, right? But it takes money, right? And so a lot of times people don't realize the very opportunity, the very thing that you want is wrapped up inside the opportunity that you're trying to be like, oh no, I'm not doing that. I'm waiting for my thing to come along. No, your thing is inside this thing that you're saying no to. So stop saying no to stuff, right? Say yes to this. And then when that becomes no longer the thing to do, switch over to the next thing. And when that no longer becomes the thing to switch over to the next thing. Nobody's saying you got to stick with something that you don't like or still don't enjoy. But I promise you one thing, you better open yourself up to the opportunity of actually attacking a thing. But because I'm telling you, it's just like, listen, they say, life's gifts are wrapped in problems, right? And so if you never open up the wrapping, right, you'll never get to the doggone gift. I love when we do those, like in Christmas when they got those boxes inside the box. My wife gave me my Father's Day gift, and I was like, inside the bag, I was like, oh, it's a bag, right? But eventually, right, I got to the jersey that was inside of the bag, inside of the bag, inside of the bag. That's how life works. You got to be willing to open up opportunities and find another opportunity inside of that one and another one until you get what it is that you want. That's all I can say, Kristin. I hope that.
Bam. Well, Let's end on that. Hey, listen, if anyone can motivate folks to get out there and grab a copy of this book, and not just grab a copy. I mean, make this a part of your family, your
Yeah.
home library, right? Get it into your child's school.
Yep.
Imagine everybody growing up, everybody having the opportunity to grow up with the message that LA just talked about. That's within him, right? What I can be is up to me, not so what I can be is up to me. LA, we should have like a weekly show where we just hang out for 20 minutes and you get me all fired up and I'm ready to
Let's
go
go.
paint my house or something. My kids are hiding. They're like, oh my God, she's going to have 7 projects for us now. She's talking to LA. Hey man,
Let's
always
do
good
the
to hang
doggone
out with
thing.
you. Thanks for stopping in, chatting about the book, and I'm sure everybody's going to see some really cool stuff coming out
Anytime.
from
We
us soon.
appreciate it. All right. I'll talk with y'all later. Peace.